So welcome back. As we were saying, somewhere in this corner over here and somewhere in this corner over here, you have the opening of the anterior and posterior ethmoidal canals, and this transmits the anterior ethmoidal vessels and nerve and the posterior ethmoidal vessels. Now if you take a look at this thing, from the opening at this point, the anterior ethmoidal nerve goes by the side of the crista galli and then dips down into the nasal cavity. So from the orbit, the anterior ethmoidal vessels and nerve come out into the anterior cranial fossa, and they cross through the cribriform plate, and then they dip down again into the nose, and in the nose again the anterior ethmoidal vessels and nerves are being continuous, and they are exiting through the nose and coming out almost up to the skin of the face. Now over here you have the posterior ethmoidal canal, through which you have the posterior ethmoidal vessels. So because we are saying vessels, we will not draw them in yellow. So posterior ethmoidal vessels, they are also going down into the nose. So anterior and posterior ethmoidal canal, anterior ethmoidal vessels and nerve, and the posterior ethmoidal vessels. These are additional openings in the cribriform plate, and at the junction of the cribriform plate with the junction of the roof and the medial wall of the orbit over here. So there are so many structures to be seen. Now apart from that, if you come over to these posterior structures, as we have said, posteriorly over here you have the margin of the lesser wing of the sphenoid. Now this margin of the lesser wing of the sphenoid that you can see over here right up to the anterior clinoid process, it insinuates itself into the lateral sulcus of the brain. So which one is the lateral sulcus of the brain then? Suppose you know that we usually draw the brain somewhat like this. It's not too good with the mouse, but still you know that we usually draw the brain like this, and this is the lateral sulcus of the brain. So it is into this lateral sulcus of the brain that this margin of the lesser wing of the sphenoid will push itself into, so that the frontal poles that you have over here, they will lodge at this point, and the temporal pole that you have over here, that will lodge at this point. So you get my point. This frontal lobe, which is slightly anterior also, this frontal lobe will come into the anterior cranial fossa. This frontal pole will lodge here and here, and this temporal pole over here, it is slightly behind and below, it will lodge in the middle cranial fossa, and in between this frontal pole and temporal pole, this depression over here of the lateral sulcus, that will lodge inside. This will, that is the posterior margin of the lesser wing of the sphenoid, will push itself in this margin. So to remove all these things that we have drawn now. So now again we are back to where we started, the posterior margins of the lesser wing of the sphenoid. So posterior margins of the lesser wing of the sphenoid, and we have said that it insinuates itself into the lateral sulcus of the brain. Not only that, at this margin you have also the position of a venous sinus, which is called the sphenoparietal sinus. So along the posterior margin of the lesser wing, you have a sphenoparietal sinus which drains into the cavernous sinus over here. So somewhere here you have the cavernous sinus, and the sphenoparietal sinus drains into the cavernous sinus. Now if we remove that, then again we are back to where we started, that is the anterior clinoid process. And you can make out that the anterior clinoid process, this anterior clinoid process, it has got two roots. You can make out the two divergent roots over here. See this anterior clinoid process, where it meets the body of the sphenoid, it has got two divergent roots, and between these two divergent roots over here you have the optic canal. So this is the optic canal, and through the optic canal you have the passage of the optic nerve and the ophthalmic artery. So if you would like to draw the optic nerve, suppose you know now that the optic nerve passes through this point, optic nerve, and along with the optic nerve you would like to draw also the ophthalmic artery. So optic nerve and ophthalmic artery, they are both passing through this point. So this optic canal formed between the diverging roots of the lesser wing of the sphenoid where it attaches to the body. Not only that, beyond the anterior clinoid process over here you can make out the elevations of the middle clinoid process. Although it is not part of the anterior cranial fossa, it's part of the middle cranial fossa, but you can make out the middle clinoid processes over here. Now from the anterior clinoid process you have several attachments. We would like to draw those attachments. See, from the anterior clinoid process to the middle clinoid process you have the carotidoclinoid ligament. Again from the anterior clinoid process to the posterior clinoid process you have the interclinoid ligament. So from the anterior clinoid process you have the interclinoid ligament going to the posterior clinoid process, and you have the carotidoclinoid ligament coming to the middle clinoid process. Not only that, just as you have the falx cerebri being attached over here, which we have said is a process of the dura mater, similarly there is another process of the dura mater inside the cranium which is called the tentorium cerebelli. That tentorium cerebelli has got a fixed margin and it has got a free margin. Now the free margin of the tentorium cerebelli is also attached to the anterior clinoid process. So you have the free margin of the tentorium cerebelli getting attached to the anterior clinoid process, and the fixed margin of the tentorium cerebelli is attached to the posterior clinoid process. If you draw the tentorium cerebelli like this, this is the fixed margin attached to the posterior clinoid process, and this is the free margin going over into the anterior clinoid process. So you see here it is actually jumping over like this, so that the fixed margin from behind it is coming and getting attached to the posterior clinoid process over here, and the free margin jumping over and getting attached to the anterior clinoid process over here. So this whole crescentic structure is the tentorium cerebelli. Going over to the opposite side, we have only drawn one side of the tentorium cerebelli. So this is another fold of dura mater. We will come to that in a subsequent video and deal with it in details. So now that we have a carotidoclinoid ligament, under this carotidoclinoid ligament you have the emergence of the internal carotid artery. Just as this opening over here is meant for the optic nerve and the ophthalmic artery, so this gap between the anterior and middle clinoid processes is meant for the internal carotid artery. So the internal carotid artery is actually going into it from this side, from the outside, going under the ligament and emerging out like this. So this is the internal carotid artery, emerging out from under the from the carotidoclinoid ligament. Occasionally this ligament is ossified, so you have a total carotidoclinoid foramen and you have a carotidoclinoid bar of bone over here. So on this side also, if you would like to draw, so it will, this internal carotid artery will come down from here, it will come up rather from this point, and it will emerge, it will come down like this and it will emerge in this direction. So this is the internal carotid artery. It winds around the carotidoclinoid ligament, which is a bar between the anterior and middle clinoid processes, and it rises up like this. So it makes a turn actually. It is going to make another turn. It is going to actually come up like this and go into the lateral sulcus of the brain. And this entire sweep of internal carotid artery, this double bend, is called the carotid siphon. Such that actually if you want to draw it in details, suppose again you draw the brain like this. That internal carotid artery that you have drawn, it will come up under the brain over here, and then it will be dividing into the middle cerebral artery, anterior cerebral artery, and communicating artery, posterior communicating, anterior communicating artery, like this. So this internal carotid artery is actually going to the under surface of the brain to go into, to divide into its terminal branches. So we have discussed a lot about the anterior cranial fossa.